Welcome to Books to Better Your Life. I'm so glad you're here. In this podcast, you'll find practical tips, quick recaps, and doable challenges inspired by some of the most impactful personal development books. You'll also get a behind-the-scenes look through author interviews, discovering the journeys and insights that shape their work. I'm Ann Brinkman, a habit and mindset coach who loves helping people find the tools that fit them and to get them started on the life they want. Ready to dive in? Today's guest is Chu Tang. Chu is the founder and owner of All Health and Beauty. She's also the author of I Am the American Dream, Be Brave to Be Different, and creator and contributor of Finding Real Friends, Stay By My Side. Chu is a visually creative person and has worked on the Oscar-winning trilogy The Lord of the Rings and has a total of 27 credits, including King Kong, Avatar, Finding Dory, Cars 3, and Coco. Today, she's a health and beauty entrepreneur, an ordinary, hardworking person with an extraordinary mission to help busy professionals living their dream health and beauty radiant inside out. Hi, Chu. So excited to have you here today. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Anne. Thanks for inviting me.
I know you've written or been involved with a few different books, and today we're here to talk about the book Finding Real Friends.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What brought you to write this book?
Actually, this book came as a surprise because I wrote my first book last year, and because I received a lot of unconditional friendship support, and that really, really touched my heart. And then one day I was walking and said, oh, I need to write a book about unconditional friendship. So that's how the book was born.
Oh, from another book. Okay, what a cool story. How do you define friendship?
So friendship to me is it got to have trust, right? Yeah, it has to have trust. And friendship is about action. Because I have true friends that they don't say much, but from the action, it really showed that they care about me, support me, and then also they believe in me more than I believe in myself. So my friendship definition is quite unique to me. That's why I think everyone has a different, definition.
Yeah, and it sounds like that was really reinforced from the first book you wrote and all of that support you were surrounded by.
Yes, yes.
That pull to write this book because of all these people in your lives. What do you want people to take away from this book?
So this book, actually, I wrote this book for young adult because nowadays, because of social media, and it's very different than the old days. Because in the old days, when I grew up, we actually go see a friend, spend time together. But nowadays, we just spend a lot of time on social media. So the value of friendship sort of changed, and I want to bring hope again for finding real friends, like friends who truly care. Like when we feel down, we have people to call, we have people to depend on. So I just want the younger generation to have hope that they will have true friendship.
And I hear in that too, not just the hope of it, but also kind of like the what is it? What are true friends? And that idea.
True. Yeah, right.
You mentioned a couple things already, but what do you think really gets in the way of people making friends?
I think people making friends, they have a lot of expectation. And then in the past, I have experienced friendship that is very conditional. Like, what is it for them? What's the benefit? So I think if we come from that space, it's very hard to find true friend because we will tend to attract people with agenda, right? If we expect a friend to always be the one giving and helping, and we don't contribute our part, then we will attract to people who are like that, very conditional. Someone that has an agenda and is not truly, a friend. They want something from us.
Yeah. Yeah. And also we play a part in that, right? Like you just said.
Yes. It's a two-way, yes.
You just shared that idea about true friends. What do you see what is a true friend to you?
So a true friend is someone that I could totally depend on, that I could share my problem without them prejudging. So to me, a true friend has a lot of trust. And then a true friend also allowed me to be who I am. No judgment, love who I am. And just that when I move with them, I feel really comfortable. And someone who's honest too.
Uh-huh. I hear a little bit of that unconditional aspect in there as well.
Yes.
And that reminds me of this idea that comes up a few times in the book around, while we might want our family to share or to support us in ways that we're looking for, that might not always happen. And that lack of support from family might be just another cue to be looking for friends instead. And
Yes.
yeah, what do you really see that role for friends that they can play that family might not be able to?
You know, my close friends, they are actually my chosen family. Without my friends, I don't think I could survive, because I came to this country. When I was younger, I had a lot of conflict with my family because of cultural conflict. And then I kind of doubt about who I was. And then because of my friend, they really reinforce and really get me to discover who I am. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So they become my chosen family.
Mhm. Yeah, and I hear in that they even pushed you beyond what you originally were hoping for in friends, that
Yeah,
to help you discover more of yourself.
right. Yeah, yes.
Speaking of the challenges that you had in growing up, and you share in the book around leaving your home in Cambodia and losing your father and the killing fields
Yeah.
and all of these really challenging and sometimes tragic areas, being a refugee in Malaysia. I wonder how all of these elements of your journey impacted how you think about friendship.
You know, I still remember my friend. I'm not sure my friend remembers me, but I still remember my friend back in Vietnam, and also even in Cambodia too. So I don't. I remember them all my life. And then also anyone who came into my life and make a big impact, like my two teachers. I consider them as my friend, even they no longer here, but they helped me a lot to be strong and to be okay that from being me that is different than the rest of my family.
Mhm. And that idea of teachers as friends as well, I hear that echoed in the book around not just this really rigid structure of what a friend is, but that kind of complexity.
Right.
There's a lot of kinds of friendships the book talks about:
Uh-huh.
friendship with yourself,
Yes.
with pets, passion,
Yeah.
even a stuffed animal or a stuffed planet. You got to read the book to figure out what we're talking about. I wonder, how do all those different definitions try into the more traditional one of friendship with others?
Well, the reason that I invited, I believe I got a number right, 13 contributing authors, because I want the reader to see friendship from all different perspectives. Because friendship to me is kind of like love, right? It's not something that is physical. So you could develop friendship with a stuffed planet, right? And then especially with pets, the friendship with pets is so unconditional. And I'm so grateful that when I reached out to my friend Lisa Marie to write about her friendship with her cat, and now looking back, she's already gone. So I'm so glad that we get to hear her story.
Yeah, what a beautiful way to memorialize someone without even knowing, right? That was,
Yeah, without them knowing. Yeah, it was just last year.
ah, and what a perfect tribute to her, too, that you have her included in this book about friendship.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah.
You captured so many different perspectives in this book, and with so many different writers, different ages, different cultural backgrounds. And I wonder what you find are those common themes of friendship that cross all those cultural lines, ages.
I think the common theme is friendship is both sides. It's both us and the friend. And then different type of friendships. Some just come and go. And then there was one chapter about some friends, they just are seasonal. They come in a season and they leave. So when I read the whole book, it gave me a different perspective that sometimes we don't have to hold on to it so tightly, right? And then also we have to forgive our friend. It's like us forgiving ourselves, because friendship, friends, no, we don't go to school to learn how to be a good friend, right? So sometimes friends, they make mistake, and then so is us. So if we let go and forgive, the friend may come back to our life. And actually that happened to me.
That's a nice echoing of kind of what you believe, and putting into practice brings back good things to you.
Yes. Yeah.
I appreciated that idea in the book too, around that we might make mistakes. Like you just said, we don't learn how to be friends necessarily. We might learn it through practice in school or young friends. And as adults, we still might be in those patterns of childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it made me think about 2 times that maybe I haven't been the best friend. And I feel like it's really validating, I think, to hear of that aspect of that we might, we're growing and we might not always treat people the best way. And I love that idea of forgiveness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on the other side of that too, I think there's elements of betrayal of friends and disappearance and the friendships that don't go the way we want them to.
Right.
How do you like to look at those less positive friendship experiences?
I think those are lessons for me to learn and also to appreciate the true friends I have, right? Because if there's no comparison, I sometimes, take my true friend for granted, right? Yeah. So now I said, oh, I still have those true friends. They are really, really like genuine friendship. I need to spend more time. I need to value them more, because all these other friends, they just kind of come and go, Yeah. And I let them go. It's okay. Because at least I did my part as a friend when I was with them.
Yeah. And then to shift back into the structure of the book, there's such a unique structure there with some memoir like stories, some fictional stories, true events, even photo montage, advice. What brought you to structure it like this?
Actually, I mean, my background was in visual effects, so I always think creatively. And then when each author, they were writing their story, for some reason, I have a lot of confidence they're going to come together, basically on how I organize them, which story comes first. And then the first chapter is about, it's basically it's a picture, and it's a story of all my best friends combined, because I couldn't have one best friend. I have like 3 at least, and it's how, them combined, like just like going to the beach with them, just feel so much joy. And then I actually included one of my best friend's picture when she was carrying me on her back. Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah. So I really like that chapter, because I wrote it almost from like an innocent, childlike perspective. Like we're doing the sliding board and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the book concluded with a very difficult chapter, which is about family. That took me a while that was my most difficult chapter to write.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and through your chapters, I saw like different. I was always any of the chapters that I read, I was like, is this fictional or is this true? And I know all of them are inspired by true events, whether or not they're fictional. So I found that
Yes.
going through my head as I was reading.
Yeah, we have the footnote at the end.
Yes, I saw that. I was trying to picture I wasn't trying to skip ahead. I was like, okay, this is fictional as I was reading.
Some author, they want to stay fictional, some want to stay non-fictional. And I say, oh, let's be creative. Let's combine them all because it's just about friendship, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think sometimes curating that even more can give the readers a better picture of where you're trying to go with it.
Okay.
I enjoyed that. Well, I enjoyed all of it, but I remember the round the world friendship story you told, and especially I just went to, let's see, Mammoth Cave last week,
Oh, cool.
so that was cool to see that 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 and the story, all these little elements, and then that
Yes, yes.
memorable scene from Crash Landing, and then visiting there. So that was fun to follow along.
Yeah, that's not from my travel journal, right?
Yes. And then that talks about a documentary, and I'm curious if that documentary is one that's actually out there.
That's my dream.
Ah, okay, so that's future Chu.
Yeah. So okay. So about that story. Before I start writing a book, I would go look at my journal, and then so I found a page that I wrote about this particular person. About this, like this particular person. So I couldn't believe that was about 24 years ago that I start thinking about this fictional character,
Oh, wow.
and I just happened to find a piece of paper, about I'm not giving a spoiler about describing the guy,
Mhm.
for a particular story. And I was like, oh my God. So now how do I develop a short story around it? So I mean, and then somehow I said, oh, that is the daughter's imagination.
Ah, uh-huh. So I hear future stories or something else coming in the future.
Yeah. And then the mahjong and sculpture, I actually took a sculpting class.
Mhm.
And it was so difficult. But then what I learned is that you have to constantly turning, look at different perspective. I say, oh, okay. So now how do I tie the sculpting experience with playing mahjong?
Mhm.
So that's when I created that story.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that even with the fictional aspects of the book, they're still based on some personal experience or story.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And then the hiking, I really did hike up to the mountain when I was in New Zealand. That was me. Yeah.
No, I knew there was elements of truth to all of them. As I was reading this book, I was reminded too of this discussion I heard from Simon Sinek. He was on the Finding Mastery podcast, and he shares this idea that society overvalues romantic relationships and undervalues friendship. And there's all this pressure on getting married and having that perfect family and
Mhm.
so many kids and all of this structure and economies around finding the love of your life and all of this. And yet there's so little for friendship.
Yeah.
What do you think about that societal focus?
Yeah, it's true. I think everyone needs to have more time, in friendship, because friendship is so different. It's so different than family, than spouse. Yeah, it's almost like they are an extended version of us because we choose them, right? We choose them, and then we kind of see ourselves through them too. Yeah, it's very it's kind of hard to describe, but it's a very important pillar of my life. Yeah, the friendship. Yeah,
Mhm.
and then back to my friend Lisa Marie. When she passed away, I thought the grief would be very similar to losing a loved one from my family, but it's completely different. Completely different. Yeah, yeah. And then the best answer I have is because I chose her. She's my chosen family. Yeah. So it's kind of like we choose to own a pet, choose to have a particular stuffed animal. It's part of us choosing. Yeah. So they,
Mhm.
yeah. And then when they see me, when they see my potential, that I could be successful. Like for instance, the first book took me about 40 years to think about it, and didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. And then I start meeting a lot of authors. And I said, oh, if they could do it, I could do it too. And then there was one friend. I never met her in person at that point. She's in Norway. Her name is Hager. And she was so confident. She said, Chu, when we see each other in October for the first time, you have your book and sign, right? And I was like, how are you so sure? She said, I know, you will do it. And I did it. If she did not have given me that, encouragement, I would be doubting myself. I would be dragging on, right? But yeah, so it's amazing that what a friendship can do, because friendship could help us, bring our dream come true.
Mhm.
Also, bad friendship could bring us down.
Yeah. Yes. The risk. Yeah. Yeah. And I hear it like being the catalyst for making us better people or making us get towards our dreams or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like my extended arms, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm curious about something you said a moment ago, and you mentioned that the grief of a friendship,
Yeah.
losing a friend, is different. How is it different for you?
It's I miss her every day because yeah. And it is a very, very, very different, and it's kind of like, in some way, it penetrates deeper into my heart. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm still trying to understand it. But then when I talk with people who lost their friend, they completely concur with how I feel. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And to me, that reminds me kind of the risk of having friends. There was the betrayal
Yeah.
and friends ghosting, and
Yeah.
then the loss, right? The actual, someone actually leaving the earth. And what makes it still worth it to pursue friendship?
Well, it's like having a pet, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. That's a risk that when they leave, they will be so sad, right? And for me, I think it's still worth it because the time we spend together and all that, it's worth it. Even some friend may betray us, but if they betray us, then we know they're not like a friend to keep. Yeah, it's the same thing as going to a relationship, right? Because we don't want to get hurt. But then for me, I'd rather go through it, get hurt, and then learn from it. Because the way I see that, I have to go through several bad friends, not so good friends, to find a true friend.
Mhm.
So it's a stepping stone.
Yeah. It's not static. It's always changing, just like our lives.
Yeah. Yes.
And speaking of which, somewhat recently you've shifted into the skincare industry. And what's the relationship, if any, with your interest in friendship and with this new role for you?
Well, this skincare was introduced by a friend of my sister, and when I first talked with her, I feel her positivity, and then later on when I get introduced to the community, it really validated why I like it so much, because everybody's very positive, supporting each other. So now I have new friends. Yeah. So to me, it's not really the business; it's more of the friendship. And then uh, my sister's friend, her name's Dora, and then her friend Karen. They both always think so highly of me, more than I think of myself. Because they say, "Oh yeah, Chu, you could do it. You could do it. You could do it." Yeah. So I feel very fortunate now that even in my business, I have this amazing friendship too.
That sounds like the best way to have a business where you can have
Yeah. Yes.
work with friends, have friends push you as well.
Yes.
As we close out today, I wonder if you had to give advice to young adults or an older adult on developing friendship, what would be that one piece of advice you'd give?
I would say be a good friend to start with yourself, and don't expect anything, because I think our friendship experience is like that song, "Chain of Love." It's a country music song. Because when you help someone, don't expect that person to return you a favor, but down the line, someone else may help you.
Mm.
Yeah. So same thing with friend. Yeah, because if this friend turned out to be not so good friend, it's okay. Another good friend will show up in your life. Just don't give up.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And where can people who want to connect with you either for your books or this book in particular or your skincare or all of this great history we haven't even talked about of your graphic design, where can people connect with you?
I think the best way is to connect me on my website. My website is allhealth.info. So it's ALL health, HEALTH.info. My contact is there. Or they could find me on Facebook or LinkedIn. Those are the two platforms I use.
Awesome. Beautiful. And we'll have those links in the show notes as well. Chu, it was so wonderful to talk to you about this topic, which is near and dear to my heart as well. So thank you so much for sharing so openly, both in our discussion today and within the book.
No, thank you so much, Anne.
Lovely to chat with you.
Yeah, same here. This is the first time really talking about friendship. So I learned a lot too about hearing myself and your insight of the questions. Yeah.
Thanks, Chu.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for listening to Books to Better Your Life. If you could use some support on your own personal growth journey, please reach out. I'm an ICF certified life coach, and I help my clients with habits, mindset, confidence, and making what they want happen. I'm Ann Brinkman, and you can find me at www.betteryour.life. That's .life, not .com. Choose the contact option to send me a message and schedule a chat.